Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and check this out. Right now, I'm about to give you my review of Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. I saw this on Thursday night, which I guess now considered opening night. And let me tell you something, right? A couple caveats to this review, right? Number one, the sound in my theater was pretty low. So I don't feel like I got the full experience that I would have gotten with a big sound, good speaker auditorium. That said, though, well, that's the only caveat, really. And also, I kind of missed a couple of parts. I was kind of scatterbrained that day, but I didn't miss anything big, right? So, and second of all, this is going to be a short and spoiler-free review right now. I'm definitely seeing this movie again, and when I do, I'll update you guys with my thoughts at the appropriate time. But anyway, so right now, just giving you my flat out impression. I couldn't hold this review back any longer, so I had to do this here at the time of this recording early in the morning. So check this out. This movie was obviously this movie was good, right? Obviously, this movie surpassed the original Into the Spider-Verse. This movie was well worth the wait because I know it was delayed. Yeah, and I just can't wait to talk about it. But before I get into it, I remind you guys to hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. And just a reminder, we're taking a 2-week break from the pod, but I guess another week-long break from the podcast. So we won't be back until later on this month. But in the meantime, that's going to free me up to do a couple of videos here, just to hold you guys over till we come back. And, drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below if you've seen this movie. What are your thoughts? What are you excited about? And, what do you think is going to happen next? What do you think is going to happen next? And that's going to make more sense as I get down to review if you guys haven't seen it. Again, this is going to be spoiler-free. I'm just going to run through, get some general thoughts and everything. Not going to be here long. So if you just want a general look at what to expect or what to feel about this movie, right, then this is the place to come. And so, yeah, awesome. So anyway, make sure you check out some of my other reviews as well, because I do some really good reviews if I do say so myself. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Okay, I'm sorry. I just like saying that. But anyway, so right out the gate, I do want to tell you guys though, when you see this movie, this is part one of a 2-part story, right? So, and I say that because a lot of people in my screening I went to, when it did the big to be continued cliffhanger, everybody was like, "Oh my god, what? No, oh, what?" And me, I was just like, yeah, everybody, this is part 1 of 2. I was actually waiting for this cliffhanger the whole time. I was like, I didn't know you guys didn't know that. So, and this is the fun thing about this cliffhanger though, which is now that you know this information going into it, like myself, I was sitting there like the last like 20 minutes of this film are so climactic, like they're very climactic. And I'm sitting there like, okay, this has got to be a cliffhanger. This has got to be a cliffhanger. Like it could have ended multiple times with mad different cliffhangers. I'm not gonna hold you, and I say that in a good way, right? Because unlike certain movies like you see, like the number one that comes to mind that I know everyone saw, which was arguably one of the greatest cliffhangers of this of what the 2010s. I would say would be Avengers Infinity War, right? I'd say arguably one of the greatest cliffhangers of 2010s. Don't shoot me. But and I say that because and that's just based off the movies I've seen, but we all remember what happened at the end of Infinity War, right? Where the heroes are snapped away and we don't know what's gonna happen next, and the movie just ends with the bad guy winning, right? And I would say that this movie had many chances to surpass that cliffhanger, because it's like, that's just how, like, you didn't know where the cliffhanger was going to come at, right? You didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know where you were going to get that to be continued. But I think it was wise. I think it was very clever that it did it that way, because it was just like, wow, like it sets up so much for the next movie. But I feel like with the next movie, the main conflict and what we're left off with can be solved within the first hour and a half, which is not a bad thing. It's a great thing, because when you see where this movie went and how certain things in the movie transpired, and it's like, wow, where we're left off, it's like, nah. And then knowing the title of the next one's gonna be Beyond the Spider-Verse, like, come on. It's like, okay, there is a trick up the sleeve for the trilogy capper for this. Like, for the end of the trilogy, there is a trick up a sleeve, and it's gonna blow our minds. And I'm like, yeah, and it's not, and then you can tell, like, you'd be like, okay, nah, they're not gonna take a whole 2.5 hours to fix this problem here. No, 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 no. That's going to be at least an hour and a half. At the most, it's going to be an hour and a half. Anything beyond an hour and a half for that plot, I'm sorry. Like, what are you doing? This does not take that long for this plot. I don't think they're going to do a cliche route with it. I don't think they're going to do, and when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't think they're going to do that cliche route with it, because it's like, okay, that's a little too low brow for the high quality cinema we've been given over these past two movies. Like, this movie really is tight. Even with the sound quality off in my theater viewing, I was like, yo, this is some hardcore stuff. Like, it was just as good as the first one. Like, even the opening sequence alone was like, and it's like a 15-minute opening sequence, yo. 15, yeah, about 15 minutes. And it's like, wait, like when the credits, like the opening credits started going, like, Sony Pictures presents. I was like, holy shit, that was just the opening. So this was good. A lot of great characters in this thing. This movie definitely does keep up with the comedy. There's a lot of great comedy in this. There's a lot of great action. There's a lot of heartfelt moments in this. There's just a lot of man, it's really good. I did take some notes. There was some points I did want to touch on. So I already touched on the cliffhangers. I touched on how I think the problem in the next film can be solved. The animation, this goes without saying, the animation was, they were not shitting around when they said that they were going to play with different animation styles. Like, each animation style was going to be different. They were going to be mad. Like, yo, like, for real, like, there really wasn't a character that had, like, if they weren't from the same universe, or if you hadn't seen them already before, like, you got Gwen, you got Miles, you got Miles' family, you got Miguel O'Hara, aka Vampire Spider-Man, no, Spider-Man 2099. You got Issa Rae's character, Jessica Drew. I mean, those characters kind of carry a similar art style, but it's like you get characters like Spider-Punk, which is like completely different. You got a villain that pops up in the beginning that has a very different art style than everyone else. You have what's it, Spider-Man India, completely different art style. You have then it's like with the whole society of spider people, yo, the way they were able to weave in, oh man, it was amazing. They even have okay, so I've been on the fence on if I want to say, and I'm not going to, but they have and that kind of leads me to my next note. There's a cameo in this movie to where it was just amazing. Okay. And if you're a Spider-Man fan and you've seen all the Spider-Man movies and you've watched them and you've seen little hints and Easter eggs of certain things dropped in, you've been waiting for them to be revealed and waiting for them to be paid for, one of them they pay very, very forward. And this is not, and I will give y'all a hint, this is not this actor's first time paying something forward in a role in one of these Spider-Man movies. And when it happened, I was like, oh, yo, that's awesome. It was so great. They reference all the Spider-Man, like every Spider-Man, anything you can think of, right? They reference it, they mention it, and it's like, they show as many spider as you can, like as many as they can. And so much so that I know I missed some. I know I missed them. And I know I missed like one, or I know I definitely missed like a little piece, like a good couple, but it's like there are so many like references and stuff, right? And also what this movie carries over, it carries over like those little moments, like when you this movie does what the first one did, where it was kind of like a comic book, where it kind of stuck to it being like a comic book. But this one does it with like even like the little annotations or the little footnotes rather, where it's like refer to this moment. This means this. Oh, he said this, and this is translation for that. Like it does, like it's so like this movie is really great. Like the little details, it's the little tiny details that I'll flash by in 3 seconds that are the most amazing Easter eggs in this movie, I feel. And those are some of the ones that, again, I want to go see it. I need to see it again because I want to catch as many more as I can. You know, I want to hear the snappy dialogue exchanges. I want to hear the little tiny jokes, man. Like I want to hear it all. I want to see it all. That's why I want to see it again. I'm itching to see this again. I'm really trying to figure out when I can see it again. Like I'm not even lying about this one. I know I said that a lot. I know I said that about Guardians. I know I said that about a lot of the movies No Way Home. I know I said that, but this one I am dead ass serious. I'm going to see this again. Um, let's see, what's something else amazing in the film? Like I said, the plot, the story, it follows Miles as he's meeting this society of spider people, led by Miguel O'Hara, and he's just trying. He's trying to help save the day, reconnecting with Gwen, but then he comes to find out a very big. He gets a really big reveal about what it really means to not only have to bear the weight of being Spider-Man, but what it means to take that and make it your own. That's how I interpret it, right? Because they say hey, he discovers of how to wear the mask and how to. No, this is a story of Miles Morales, of a Spider-Man learning not just how to wear the mask or choosing how to wear the mask, but finding out how to make being Spider-Man, which I guess is the same thing as what I just said, like how to wear the mask, right? But it's really about it's man, it's about so many different things, and it's things I want to touch on that I can't because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's really good. It's a very heartfelt story, very emotionally driven. The motivations of Miles are just so strong. Um, yeah, this is a great movie. Let's see, I had something else in my notes that I wanted to touch on too. Um, Damnation. Oh, the music in the movie. The music was great. So I listened to the actual soundtrack, which is out now. Shout out Metro Boomin, who produced the entire album. As a matter of fact, it's called Metro Boomin Presents Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The album it blows the first one completely out the water. I'm not even gonna hold you. That's how I feel about it, in my opinion. Even off of features alone. Okay. Let me tell you one of the features. Nas. That's right. Nasty Nas is one of the features on the album. But this ain't about the album. But the album is a top-notch album, in my opinion, right? You got Future on there, you got Lil Wayne, all that good. But anyway, no, this is a good and one of the things this movie does, it does give you a bigger focus on Gwen Stacy, so you get to find out more about her story, and she gets more of a story arc. So you really get to spend a lot of time with her character and understanding her, understanding where she comes from. And that's a really great story too. That again, I want to see it again because I want to get as much invested as the movie wanted me to get. But no, it's a great story just about and the character of Miles and how he's grown, because obviously he's grown since the last film. We see it just like in his character design. He's older, obviously, but even just like with him being Spider-Man and him just wanting to save people, and then again, like I said, realizing what some people think, what many Spider-Men think it takes to be Spider-Man. Miles is out to change that. And that is just such a beautiful thing in and of itself. And I just can't wait to see how the story concludes, because I know it's going to conclude in an amazing, jaw-dropping way. It's going to have me cheering in the theater. I know it. I just know it. And I've never been so sure about anything ever when it comes to a movie. This, I'm very sure that it's going to be the Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to have a moment, a jaw-dropping moment akin to the leap of faith that will surpass the leap of, from the first Spider-Verse film. When he jumped off the building and it played the song "What's Up, Danger," it's going to have a moment that surpasses that, and by miles. And I'm just so excited. No pun intended. And I'm so excited to see what goes next. Last thing I want to talk about the villain Spot, right? Because we go here, but I know you guys probably seen the guy with the black holes on him. They call him Spot, and he had the ATM machine, the bread coming out of one of his holes on his stomach and stuff like that. That is a menacing guy. He starts off as a joke, but you will see exactly how menacing he is, right? How menacing he comes to be. And I know in the marketing, for those of you who really pay attention to things like I do, they tease that he has a surprising connection to Miles. The word surprising does not even begin to sum it up. It is hilarious. It is funny. Funny, hilarious, same thing. It's hilarious. It is shocking, and it pulls on literally one of the smallest moments from the first movie, and my personal favorite joke in the movie. Honestly, like every time I see this joke in the first movie, I just die laughing. Especially when I realize a certain thing happened with that joke, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't ever notice that." Like this, just these little it's part of the little details that flash quick on screen. That if you don't see it, you're gonna miss it. But then when you go back and rewatch it, you'll see it again. So but I'm definitely not gonna spoil that one because I think that reveal, when I saw that reveal, I was like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me!" I thought that was amazing. So yeah, the in the this villain's tie, Spot's tie to Miles, and his motivation and his gripe with Miles is so powerful, and it's just like, it's like I cannot wait to see how that's resolved in this next film because I will say this much: Spot starts off as a joke, but by the time you get to that piece of the climax, by the time you get to the end of the movie, you're gonna be like, "Oh man, no, we." And he's not even in the movie that much. I will say that, but for what he's in there for, and then when you get one of the big reveals in the movie of how certain things are gonna go down, you're like, "Oh man!" And just the level up that he has, you're like, "Oh man, I don't know how Miles gonna do this one." But he gonna do it. But I mean, we know he gonna do it, but it's just like he gonna have a hill to climb. Trust me, he gonna have a battle. It's gonna be a battle. You feel me? That said, there was a Miles versus Miguel in the Spider Society thing that we seen in all the trailers. Let me just say, this is why I say Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to have a moment, and when you see it, you'll know it. Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to have a moment that's going to surpass the leap of faith. And it had one in this movie that was kind of on the equal level, right? Just a little bit above it. But it's like that next one's going to do it. That next one's going to do it, man. Of course, Peter B. Parker returns in this. I miss Spider-Ham, and I hope Spider-Ham is able to come back in the next one. I miss Spider-Man Noir. Um, them two, they didn't come back. I'm not going to tell you which other spider people we saw in the first one do come back. But if you're smart and you remember the movie, like, you definitely just figured out who does come back in a meaningful way. But yeah, overall, man, this movie was really, really good. Like I said, the twist in the plot with when you find out what's really going on with Miles and the Spider Society is definitely heartbreaking. It definitely feeds into the theme of, make your own story, craft your own way, and again, I can't say this enough. I can't wait to see the payoff to that in the next movie. So hopefully, I don't know when the next one's supposed to come out, but I know it's going to be, I hope it doesn't get like delayed or anything. And if it gets delayed, I hope it's because they, just like with this one, they need more time to cook. Because with the time they took to cook this one, you know what I mean? They took their time. They said, because it was supposed to come out in like last October or something, right? But it's like, hey, look, a little bit more time in the kitchen. This ain't what we wanted at. We need a little bit more time in the kitchen. And you can see they took that time in the kitchen. So I'm hoping if there's a delay on this movie, it's because they need more time in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? They have more than enough time, I feel like. But I feel like the reception of this movie And I feel like a lot of I feel like definitely the reception of this movie will help them gauge where they feel like they need to cook a little more, maybe take out a couple ingredients, you know what I'm saying? Maybe do a little bit of remix to the stew. Although with the writer's strike, I don't know if that will even be possible until the writer's strike is over. So again, I do hope that there's no delays outside of pure creativity and needing to do some special effects work. I hope there's nothing that needs to be rewritten at this time. Like I said, I don't know when Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to come out. I do know it is next year. I will give you guys that information. Just give me like 2 seconds. Let's see. Beyond. There we go. Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming out. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have not long to wait. If you look on the bright side, March 29th, 2024, we are slated to get Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. March 29th, 2024. It is way sooner than I thought and way closer than we think, because we're already in the month of June, baby. We're already halfway through the year, which means we're probably getting the trailer for this movie very soon. Fingers crossed, baby. Yes. So that's real-time reaction, too. I'm so hyped for that. I cannot wait. Oh, my God, I can't wait. Oh, I'm so hyped. Okay, calm down. So I know all these things I said about this movie so far, and I've done a good job being spoiler-free. Thank me. And especially with me saying I'm going to see it again, it is no secret that I'm giving this movie a 5-star review. Okay, it is no secret. This was a 5-star movie when I saw the trailer. I have absolutely no issue with this movie, and I have to see it again. I'm going to see it again. If I have to see it in IMAX, I see it in RPX, I can see a big ass screen. I want that sound quality to pop and shake my seat. I want to see all the action because this was an amazing film, a great movie. And like I said, the only damper on my experience was that the sounds in my theater fucking sucked. Like it sounded like it sounded like I was watching it on a basic TV. I'm not going to hold you. For me to be in the theater, it's like the sound was low. Like I could hear people whispering, like not that you can't in the theater anyway, but like I could hear people breathing. That's how low the sound was. I hear someone like that, and they weren't even doing it like loud, like you would do that like loud on purpose. It was like it's someone like you might have a breathing condition. But if the sound was up, I wouldn't hear you. I don't know. That's just me. I don't want to go on a tangent about the sound, but I am definitely planning on seeing this again, like most likely next week. And I'm taking my kids, I'm taking the main people I can take and can afford to take. I'm so serious about this. So there's a chance that there will be an updated review. I'm not going to promise anything, but just know I'm seeing this movie again. It's great. It's worth the watch. It's 2 hours and let me see. See, I don't be having my information up sometimes. This movie is 2 hours and 16. I was saying 2.5 hours to everybody. My bad. This is 2 hours and 16 minutes long. Currently, I can't. Come on. It was released June 2nd, but I saw it June 1st because at least there's no post credit scene. I didn't stay. I looked it up because I didn't want to stay longer than I needed to. On Rotten Tomatoes, of course, come on. Certified fresh, baby. 95%. We already know. IMDb, come on, baby. Highest reviews, 9.1 out of 10. Come on, baby. If this gets an Oscar now, I got one more thing to say. And I'm out. If this gets an Oscar nomination, just a nomination, that's lit. And if the next one gets an Oscar nomination, just a nomination, it's lit. But if both of them manage to win Oscars, if the entire Spider-Verse trilogy is an Oscar award-winning trilogy, which I think is I definitely believe that's going to be a first time in film history that happens. I'm fine with just a nomination, baby, because these are amazing pieces of animation. And I know between now and like 2 Oscars from now, there's going to be greater animated films. So I'm not just going to say give Spider-Verse the awards and there are other great animated films that are out. But if this trilogy manages to win 3 Oscars. 3. 3 Oscars. Come on. Come on. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say after that. I don't. Like, that's going to be one of the most amazing feats ever in history. And well deserved, I would think. But I'm fine with this nomination. That's the last thing I should have to say, though. But, a man can dream. But Oscars don't validate how great a film is because the Lego movie was one of the most amazing films and it got shunned. Speaking of Lego movie, one last thing I got to say. There is, and I will give a light spoiler, there is a Lego sequence in this. And that's funny to me because if you know the producers behind this film were the people who directed the Lego movie. Just everything's full circle sometimes, you just full circle. Just let it go. But anyway, that's all I have to say before I sit here longer than I need to and just keep talking and talking and talking and talking. And then end up spoiling. But thank you guys for tuning in. That's all I have to say. Make sure you guys check out Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse wherever you can, however many times you can. Legally pay to see this movie. Help it be one of the highest grossing films of the year, of all time, really. Currently, Super Mario Brothers is at number 2. Put this movie in the top 5, people. Let's get this movie in the top 5 animated features, highest grossing animated features of all time. Let's do it. Let's get it up there. This movie deserves to be charted somewhere. And so does the first one, but I guess we kind of missed that. This movie deserves to be charted somewhere, everywhere, anywhere it can be, for an all-timers list. Okay. This is an amazing movie. Make sure you see it. Take your friends, your families, your loved ones, whatever the case may be. See it by yourself. I'm seeing it twice. Not saying that you should, because I know the economy is kind of shit right now. But if you can, do it. If not, at least you saw it once, and that's all that fucking matters, right? Enjoy yourself at the movies. Enjoy your weekend, and yeah. Subscribe to the channel. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this movie. Let me know if you enjoyed my review. And as always, man, be easy, stay breezy. Peace.